Hello everybody and welcome to another Total Annihilation replay. Today I've got some more ProTA action. Here we have the legendary Pro Randy versus the equally legendary Tag Rock on the also legendary map, John's Pond. So now, Andy says, nice try, old man, because he tried to, I guess, unpause the game. Oh, let's do another map. They were busy talking and when it was paused, and so I wasn't able to see. So here, on the bottom, we have Rock wearing the brand new orange, although it's not new for those who play Escalation. It is new for anybody who's played OTA. Much to my chagrin, that color has replaced my TA tan, because everybody thinks TA tan is bad. Randy does plus lots of shake. He doesn't do no shake. So for those who don't know, Andy's been really busy playing him some 0K and spring-related stuff. So if you want to see what he's up to, you can check out his Twitch channel, which I will link down here. Every now and then he streams, and you can watch him be amazing at his video games. Also, they're both going air. So Rock anticipating that Andy's also going air. Really good anticipation, actually. He's going Freedom Fighter first. And Andy, I bet, goes Bomber. Yep, there he goes. You can see, though, the way Andy's built this, it's got wins. There's really no way that a Freedom Fighter is going to be able to get in and take that out. He should be able to. Well, I don't know if he'll cancel it. The other thing he can do is he can get it done and he can fly it off. Here's our little Swedish Yank Spankers sonar detector for the middle here. You can see Rock just raiding the metal at this point. He realizes he can't get at that bomber when it's behind the winds like that. It just gets done. He goes to try and shoot it, but he shoots the wind instead. You have to turn shoot all off. That's the trick with that. Second Freedom Fighter coming in from Rock, and then he's going con second. Busy harassing. He goes, he catches the bomber out. You can see he lets that Freedom Fighter drop. Actually, nice job by Rock right there. Gets the bomber, keeps the Freedom Fighter safe. Although Andy does manage to get a con out, produces a missile tower, and protects himself from the Freedom Fighter raid at that point. But Rock gets away with and has a bomber lead. So you got that for free. The Freedom Fighters are now here guarding these Ulags. You can see he's sending up this air con to reclaim those Ulag trees. Andy's con is busy repairing the wind generators. Not building anything, though. He is out of metal, that's why. Rock was also out of metal, but not anymore. Each one of these Ulag trees still brings 50 metal into the bank. And he has quite the fighter force here. Lone wind down here without any missile tower protection. Andy now says, fine, let's do another map. Andy's not as familiar with the mod and has been playing other things, and so he's not as familiar with this. So they picked a map that's something that he should and does know how to play. I was lucky that Andy didn't lose his con there. Timmy Fred chimes in and says it's kind of cathartic to see Andy actually lose an early air battle. He lost it, but he is not out. Rock has taken that excess metal he's gotten from reclaiming the Ulag trees, and he's got his vehicle plant down. Interesting choice by Andy right here, using his commander to expand, using the aircon to drop missile towers, following him as he goes. Rock still hasn't produced a bomber yet. And Andy's bomber's out. Flies it off screen to avoid the fighter swarm. There you go. Rock finally gets that con. Has to lose a Freedom Fighter. Definitely worth it. Incoming bomber. Flies right by. Nicely done by Andy right there. Even though he hasn't used one in a while, he still knows his way around a bomber. Now the high altitude of coming off of here makes it easier for the Thunder to dodge missiles. I think that Thunder got away. Yes, it did. He's now got his... Rock's got his fighters trying to chase it on the side. But it looks like it might get through. He flies it again, off screen up top. Very good. Rock's got his own bomber, though. Andy has gone K-Bot, and he's producing some Jethros. In ProTA, those have been fixed, so they now actually will work against air. They're not as good as missile towers are, but they are better than they were in OTA, where they would take forever to open and then have trouble aiming upwards. So they couldn't actually really hit the things that they were aiming at. Truly a terrible unit. And Rock is getting wet. And really, that's the big... Lucky Rock finds the bomber, but doesn't get it. It's a perfect trap. He loses his Air Force. Andy gets the Air Force and doesn't lose anything for the trouble. See, Rock's got a scout down here. He's trying to make sure Andy doesn't bring anything over to his side. Both of them still have their air plants up. You can see Rock kind of defending against what he was thinking of doing. He's putting a defender up here and on the right. You can see they're bombing right there. Really nice bombing by both players. I do intend to actually get a bombing tutorial up on the channel, so for those who aren't familiar with how to bomb, it's one of the most fun things that's in the game. I have yet to see any kind of RTS that's replicated the kind of micro and play that you get from just getting good at learning how to use bombers. They're just incredibly destructive in the hands of the right person. You can see right there, Andy does a fantastic job, clears out the metal extractors and takes out a few missile towers on his way. Rock has reclaimed his vehicle plant after just 1, 2, 3 cons, which is pretty typical for this map. Andy is staying K-Bot now. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 done. He's currently idling his air, most likely due to energy concerns, if I had to guess. Yep. He's a little bit light on the energy production. So was Rock, actually. Rock very light on energy. Incoming bomber. Rock manages to get 1 mechs for that. You can see Rock's expansion has been discovered. Rock 2 sea cons. Andy just got in the water. He's building a con of his own. This is really going to put Rock up ahead in the ski fight, and the ski fight is incredibly important on this map. Skeets are not only basically your basic infantry unit of the sea. They're also fodder. Andy also going 2 cons. It looks like one of them is a little bit in jeopardy pretty early. Rock trying to bomb it and continues bombing up the side too. Andy guarding, repairing that construction ship. He's getting his own skeets in. This looks like it's going to pay off for Andy. The skeets are going down, and he's got a little bit of metal to show for it. He probably wants a little more, so he's trying to chase him down. And Andy establishes himself in the water, doesn't get blown out right away. Although Rock's already got a bunch of the mechs kept and a sonar out. So you can see Rock is doing a little better economy-wise. He's up by 1,000 per our total command. And he has just now secured his side. Just while Rock is busy finishing capping there. Andy has reclaimed his K-Bot to go to C. He doesn't really need that T1 at this point, unless they're planning on doing their best cool neck impression and building a gazillion wins. Which on this map is actually a pretty good idea. Andy kind of testing. You see he pulls back. Theory there is he really just doesn't want to fight on Rock's side of the map. Potentially give him a giant wreck field. If you make a wreck field, you got to contest the wreck field. Unlucky by Rock right there. Barely missed killing that defender just because of the elevation on it. Nice find by Rock. Manages to get a con for absolutely nothing in return. More raid bombing. Really good use by Rock here, going back and forth. Bombing, controlling skeets, just making excellent use of his time. Andy trying to bomb out that con. Andy going pure skeets for a while, now appears to outnumber Rock in the skeet department. See, Andy is starting to build rows of wins here. You can see Rock is doing the same with his cons, except for that one that's idle. Shame on you, Rock. Shame. Andy using the superior skeet advantage right here. Rock pushed a little too far forward at that point. Now there's some lovely wrecks for Andy to pick up on this side. He is down these mexes, though, and he's not replacing them fast enough. Andy taking advantage of the gap in air coverage right here, and he is actually trying to bomb down that aircraft plant. And Rock is busy repairing it. I don't know if he's going to be able to destroy it with just a single bomber. Like for Andy right there, that bomber just flies over the skeets. They'd make quick work of it. He has the skeet advantage. Rock is busy pushing out Crusaders at this point, though. Again, Rock just really doing a good job of taking advantage of his air plant. Just oppressive bombing. See, Andy's now brought in 2 bombers. That should be enough to outdo the reparative effects. And he gets it. He gets the air plant. Leaves a nice, big fat wreck, though, so Rock will be able to replace that if he wants. He's dropping a K-Bot lab to improve his economy. Andy recognizes he has a skeet lead, and he presses in. These Crusaders, without skeets to screen them, are going to be in trouble. Andy pressing down. Rock's got this capped up over here, though, so again, he's just ahead on economy overall. Andy's got his con down here reclaiming, and he's producing some Crusaders of his own. Rock switching, going advanced. Pelicans are still the same old unit that they were in OTA. They do have that effect on the game, in which place they make skeets less useful. So it kind of forces a switch to Crusader if you want to defend against them. 4 Crusaders now for Rock. We're starting to get to that point of critical mass, where the skeet advantage doesn't matter as much. Fark's coming out. Two Crusaders by Andy. Still just the 2C. And cleaning up the metal extractors over here. Looks like Rock is going to try and go and harass them. That might just be a gift to Andy, though. This Crusader, you see it drove into the middle of the skeets. It gets completely eaten up. So now we're down to 4-2. With a better skeet screening force, although with the Pelicans in play, this is the way you want to do this. You want to move the Pelicans out front to absorb the missile fire from the skeets, and then you can bring in your own skeets behind to take them out. And so the Pelicans will do really good work at clearing down the skeets. You can see right there, this still has the same issue where the skeets shoot in the water. Again, we know this is one of those things that's like, oh, why does that happen? It shouldn't do that, that's a bug. But the effect on the gameplay we thought was so profound that it was something worth keeping in. Because it just forces a much more interesting sea fight. And that's one of the reasons why Gimps now actually walk on the water. Andy bringing his Crusaders down here to raid. I don't know if that was necessarily the best call, considering his circumstances back home, and also the danger of just leaving your Crusaders and all the Crusader wrecks on Andy's, on Rock's side of the map. Now this little wreck field right here is really, really worth fighting over, especially since Andy, oh, that definitely paid off for Andy. Andy, forgive me for questioning you. He's got 4 really nice Crusader wrecks right there, and he quickly sends down a con to clean those up. Pelicans are cruising in. Rock busy just working on his economy down here too. You can see he's got the Moho extractors going. Andy, no advanced on his side at all. So if things continue at this pace, Rock will simply just be able to roll him over with basically whatever he builds. Good UC of your Crusaders can keep you in it when there's Pelicans out there. Pelicans aren't exactly the cheapest unit. See, the Crusaders are busy just shredding them. Third C for Rock is out. Andy farming wins. He just simply doesn't have enough cons to keep up with Rock's production on this side. Pelicans get through, but Rock decides not to push him home. Oh, there he goes. Nope, he does. Andy's split up into 2 sides here. He's got some ships on the north side, and he's busy pressing down south. Massive skeet force. But also, that's a lot of pels. So having played core on this map for years, I'm familiar with this conundrum where your opponent has Pelicans and you don't. But you can see what Andy's doing here. Skeets to jam up the Pelicans, and then the Crusaders just to absolutely smash them. Rock doing a good job, though, of just keeping his distance from the Crusaders. See, though, they can chase him down. One thing that's different in ProTA is you can now see that units are actually driving over the Pelican wreckage. That was a advantage to core, really, in OTA, because the Pelican wreckage would block units trying to go over them. It's just a bug. And so that's one of the ways you could actually beat Pelicans with Crusaders, because if you destroy the first few, then they would get jammed up on the wreckage and then stop moving. And their speed and movement is one of the ways they can dodge the Crusader shots. And so that was one of the best ways to deal with Pelicans, is you just need to kill the first 2 or so, and then the rest will kind of get bottled up and destroyed. Rock going advanced air, taking advantage of his resource lead, busy capping these Mohos. He's at 76 to Andy's 57. Rock, big resource lead now. That's not something you want to give to Mr. Rock from Gibraltar. Andy's got more than enough Crusaders to defend himself from the skeets. But Crusaders are vulnerable to Hawks and Brawlers. Well, they can actually shoot Brawlers down with the way the Brawlers move. But metal for metal, the Brawlers are just going to do more damage. Not a good move by Andy right there. Drives into the Pelicans, so you can see he's got the skeets though to protect it. Crusader's a little bit too close. Although now Rock's superior production is coming into play. You can see he's got multiple cons guarding multiple ships coming out. He's also going advanced sea. And Andy's navy goes down. He's going to have nothing to protect himself. This basically seals the deal for him. Andy recognizes it, says, "Good game, well played," and Rock says, "Good game, you too." And his forces break through, but at that point, Randy goes ahead and surrenders victory to Rock wearing orange. So, pretty good showcase of how a classic map plays in ProTA. There's just a lot of similarities. The air fight, the way the skeet control works, and just kind of taking the map and controlling the wreck fields in the middle, all that kind of thing. So, but with that extra twist of the ability to boost your production and have, Jethros that actually shoot down bombers. That's a pretty nice perk. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that. And if you did and you want to see some of this stuff live for yourself, live replay now works if you update your Total Annihilation forever, so make sure you do that. Come join us on there, and we'll be able to welcome you in with some games if you just want to watch. Most of us have been setting our replay delay to just live, so you can just kind of pop in and check out a game anytime somebody's got one going on. You can also join us at the Total Annihilation Universe Discord if you want to chat a little bit or find some people to play with. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button and leave a comment if there's something that you wanted to see. If there's something I missed and you want to point it out to me, feel free to do that. Also, be sure to check out Mr. Pro Randy. Check out his Twitch. And make sure to check out 0K too if you're interested in RTS, that sort of thing, and see what he's been up to. Every now and then he will grace us with his presence and with a game, and we are so blessed when he chooses to do so. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that, and I'll see you around next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.